Hello everybody, hope everybody's doing great today, and thank you for watching this video. Today we'll be talking about Resident Evil on Netflix. So if you're wondering if this is actually a Resident Evil movie, because it takes place into the future and where everything's already chaotic and the virus has really taken hold on the world, I would say for the most part, yes, this is a Resident Evil movie, and the fact that it touches upon greed of a corporation. Umbrella, of course, is always the main villain of the Resident Evil series. Or, well, I shouldn't say always, but for the most part. So you got corporation greed. You got people investigating what is going on, especially in your flashbacks. You got Wesker's daughters trying to investigate, what's happening, and trying to somewhat stop what's going on. It's kind of odd what they're doing in the past. Not so much what they're not really so much trying to stop what's going on, but they're trying to escape the little city that they're into. And it does have some callbacks to the previous Resident Evil games. It mentions Wesker's death, in Resident Evil 5, and also alludes to other events that happen in the Resident Evil games. Which kind of questions why, if you're going to do that, would you race swap Wesker? This doesn't really make sense in that context. And honestly, if you wanted a black lead, you could have easily picked Sheva, who was from Resident Evil 5, and in the series, it directly talks about the events that happened in Resident Evil 5, so she probably would have been a better character to have as one of your leads in this. However, I didn't mind them having, like, Wesker having children, because this is kind of something that is alluded to, I think, in Revelations 2, that there's multiple Weskers, and they might be like clones. I can't, trying to remember on that part right there. But yeah, so this is a Resident Evil movie per se. It's just not a good Resident Evil movie. And one thing that ruins it is all the flashbacks that happen into this series. If you played Resident Evil 6, one of the things that really diminished the quality of Resident Evil 6 was the quick time reactions. Was this overboard? In this series, the flashbacks are really overboard, and they kill all the momentum that are in this series. For example, in episode 1, you have her being chased, and it's like this big action scene, and all of a sudden it stops, and we get to go flashback to the past, and it's her, Jane, I believe Jane and her family in a car, and they're just arriving in a city that's controlled by Umbrella, and it just kills all the momentum that you have, and you have this throughout the whole series, and it just terrible. Like, this makes the series even more horrible. It would have been better, in my opinion, if this would have focused on the first 4 episodes of stuff that happened in the past, and then on episode 5, you could say, fast forward so many years, and then have the events from there on out to be in the present day. It would have been a lot better show than what it is. And honestly, episode 5 is probably the best episode, just because you don't have all the flashbacks, and we're able to follow the characters as they're investigating what exactly is going on. And that episode is the daughters trying to figure out what their father, Wesker, is trying to do. And it's just, it makes, it's the best part. If it would have stuck with that, this would probably have been a pretty good series. But since we got so many flashbacks, this is horrible. The dude got some original ideas, I guess. Not really original. When they go to, like, I don't know what you call it, like a confine where all these humans are, and they're using the zombies to do, like, manual work for them, and they got this zombie leader who can screech and scream and kind of control the other zombies. I believe they took that from Resident Evil 6. So you do see some of the video game lore into this series in that way. But they also waste a lot of stuff that just shouldn't be in there. Like, they have this, what you see behind me, the big
big alligator thing, which, you know, is paying homage to Resident Evil 2, where Leon has to fight a large alligator. Not as big as this one, of course, but you know, they are paying homage to that. But this alligator, spoiler here, if you haven't watched it, really doesn't do anything. It's just there to chase things around. Doesn't really kill anybody, and it's easily defeated. You know, it's kind of like the good guy's secret weapon, and it's basically a dud. So you got stuff like that, and then they advertise one of the tyrants from the past, but it never really makes an appearance at all. So, and it's definitely, the show definitely leaves off for a season 2, but if season 2 is going to be a bunch of flashbacks again, which it's going to have to, because it doesn't really, all the flashbacks really don't lead to anything, which is another reason why this show is very bad. And so season 2 looks like it's going to be more of the same with, you know, the present from the past. And that's going to be really bad. It's going to be really bad for the series. Probably won't watch the second season. I don't know. Maybe I'll watch the first episode, but it's going to be a bunch of flashbacks. I don't think I want to go through all that trauma again. So yeah, so I'm going to end this review here because I don't really got much more to say. If you've never watched any of our videos in previous times when we do reviews, we have this is a 3 grading system. Recommend with caution, and not recommend at all. I would go with this one, not recommend at all. Just pass it over. It is pretty bad. It just has some concepts. You know, I've read in the past that people have called it like woke garbage. It's not really woke garbage. I mean, you got your wokeness in there, but there are some things that like conservatives would enjoy. One of the things is that it seems to be a pro-life series. They got pro-life sentiments in there, especially with our main character, Jane. She talks about how she never wanted children before, but once she had her daughter, it all changed. It was like she's the best thing in her life. And we see that there's like a big boom, another boom, population boom there on their little cruise ship. And then they're talking about saving the past. And when they talk about saving the past, they're talking about Western culture. So they want to use that history to help future generations become better people. For me, as somebody who loves history, I would not only would like to save like Western culture, but you know, I like all cultures like Asian and African, and like I think history is very fascinating. That's just my opinion. Anyways, thank you for watching this and enduring to the end. I appreciate it. Have a great day, and bye.